Hello and welcome back to SRB Gaming. Today we are landing a base on Titan, the largest moon around Saturn in real solar system. And for those who requested, here's a picture of the launch vehicle of the Ionic, my Titan base. Don't ask about the name, it just sounded kind of cool and I'm running out of name ideas. Anyway, we will skip forward to the Titan encounter. Now, Titan is a very interesting moon because Titan is the only moon with a significant atmosphere. In fact, its atmosphere is actually 40% greater surface pressure than Earth on sea level. Titan also possibly has liquid methane seas, and in KSP you will actually see that there are seas on the moon. The moon has a surface gravity about 1.3 meters per second. However, it is bigger than Mercury, and it has a greater volume than the moon. It's simply because its density is more spread out that its gravity is less than the moon, acceleration due to gravity. Due to its low gravity, the atmosphere extends extremely high, 600 kilometers, almost as high as Jupiter, relative to sea level, of course. So the Ionic was boosted into Earth orbit, and transfer burn to Saturn used all of the transfer stage and some of the landing stage. Once I arrived at Saturn, I actually found that I ended up in a retrograde orbit, and I was not able to change that. What I was able to do was intercept Titan. Once that had been done, I could burn off the extra delta V in the atmosphere, and yeah, the atmosphere is thick enough that I was able to land. And in fact, it was so dense that I actually was only used 2 out of my 5 parachutes, and they were plenty. In fact, I didn't want the other ones to deploy. It took long enough to hit the ground with the 2. Yeah, anyway, this base, the Ionic, has 2 pilots and 4 kerbals stored in the bottom. It is using a Gemini pod and a Gemini crew capsule. Procedural parts builds the conic tank below it. Actually a frustrum, I guess. We've got a engine from FASA as well, some landing legs, lights, RTGs, and an SAS unit that is used to turn the ship. And it actually turns fairly fast for realism overhaul. I mean, in normal KSP that would be extremely slow, but if you've played this before, SAS have been severely downgraded. They're much slower to be more in line with realism. Anyway, you may be wondering why I'm not resupplying the bases like I did was in the bases I established before, like the Pluto one. I actually left that save because I changed to realism overhaul rather than just RSS. So I don't have any bases, so I decided to establish this one on Titan. Now, even though Titan's gravity is so low, it actually takes about 7,500 meters per second delta V to launch. That's almost as much as Earth. It's due to the extremely dense atmosphere. Again, there's a surface pressure about 140 kilopascals on the sea level, on the surface at sea level. In comparison, Earth is about a little over 101 kilopascals, and Mars is 1 kilopascal. So that's your comparison. So it was much easier to land on this than it is on Mars. You do not have to use your engine at all if you have 1 or even 2, yeah, just 1 parachute. In fact, I only had to deploy it at the very end, and I didn't even have. The pre-deployment was enough to get it far below the destruction velocity. So you'll see at the end that it could have deployed, but it did deploy, but it didn't have to. And I am skipping around because no one wants to watch 30 minutes of me just descending into the atmosphere. Anyway, I installed environmental visual enhancements, which adds clouds and city lights. It does use up a little bit more RAM, but it's extremely nice on Titan because the real Titan is completely obscured by an atmosphere, and I recommend you go look it up on Wikipedia after you watch this video. Just go look up Titan Moon and look at a picture of it. Now, it's completely obscured. It looks like Venus almost. And but the one in real solar system, the atmosphere is very transparent, so you can see the surface. And I didn't really like that, so I installed this cloud mod, and it actually does add clouds. But even though it's not as thick as the real Titan is, it still looks a lot cooler, especially when you're on the surface. From the sky, it doesn't look too great, but when you're down there, it looks really cool to have a cloud cover, and you can see Saturn through it. It's really cool. For some reason, Saturn does not have rings in RSS. I actually don't know why that is. I'm really hoping that there comes out with an expansion soon that adds more moons to all the planets, because there's some interesting moons around Saturn. Like we have Phoebe, I believe, is a captured Kuiper Belt object. There's another moon that has one side that's brown. I forgot the name because it was crashing into an outer ring of Saturn. It's interesting stuff, and I hope they add, or someone adds it. I don't know how to make planets. Maybe I should learn, but I might do that sometime. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I'm very fortunate to not have landed in one of Titan's oceans. Again, liquid methane in reality. In KSP, they're probably just normal oceans. I did not know they were there, and I'm lucky that the atmosphere brought me down where it did, because I landed on a landmass between the oceans. And anyway, yeah, I am gonna hopefully send more stuff to Titan eventually. It is the only moon of Saturn in RSS. And at the end, you'll see some nice views of Saturn, the Sun, and the surface of Titan. So, thank you for watching. The subscribe button will be in the corner, not now, just a little longer. Please wait. Push that. Comment if you have any comments, and thank you for watching. And I'll just leave you in silence to watch the rest of the video. So, thank you.